Okay. Hello, everyone, and welcome to this Zoom. I'm really excited to have 4 awesome guests on the call tonight, and I think you're going to learn a lot from these 4. They're kind of what I would call Rockstar Runners. 4 people that you are kind of out there looking for that are amazing and get the vision right from the start and the belief, and they rock and start running. And so these 4 right here, in the last 3 months, between all of them, have 136 new ambassadors, personals. That's amazing. They also have 15 silvers on their teams. And this month, they're adding a bunch more silvers by the end of the month. So they are what I call runners. And I wanted to interview them tonight and see some of the tips from them for you guys to learn from. So I'm going to go right into some questions, and I'm going to ask these questions, and they're each going to answer them in their own words, and so you can pick up whatever you can learn from them. So the first question I wanted to ask is, who are the people in your life and your circle that you are getting to do Plexus? And we're going to start with Nate first. So Nate, I should introduce them. This is Rockstar Nate, our fast starter this month, or last month. This is Todd, and we have Christian, and we have Edie. Okay, and so we're going to go with Nate first.
Okay, so I reached out to my mom first because she and I do almost everything together, and I know she is the first person I think of to do anything. She goes with me everywhere. We do everything together, and I know she could really use this. Then I reached out to my friends and family. I made a list of almost 100 people, and then I circled 20, and I started 5 of them and started with that. So I contacted the 5 people, and then from there I went and started going down the 20 on who I felt the most comfortable with talking to Plexus about. Perfect.
Thank you. Okay, what about Christian?
I had a wide range of people that I have on my team. Family, friends, old ball players. That's a big part of my business. But mostly through Facebook contacts. I did my list and everything, but I went full bore right into Facebook, and I have to say probably 60% of my business is on Facebook. And I did go through my list, and I did sign up 3 people right away, but Facebook, to me, has been huge.
Okay, perfect. How about Todd?
I didn't make a list. I probably should have when I first started out, but when you ask who do I talk to, or who do I talk to everybody. So I don't have a list, but on the same side, I don't have anyone who's not on my list. So if we're in contact, whether it's social media, church, basketball, rodeo, in the store, in the line at store, it doesn't really matter to me. Everyone's on my list. So I guess that's probably the beauty of not having a list is in the beginning is everyone was on it.
Okay. Edie?
I think I did make a list, but I mostly went through my phone and my contacts through my phone, and then rechecked it through Facebook if there was other people that I missed that aren't in my phone contacts. And so mostly when I did the November to Remember, that was mostly friends, few family, but mostly friends.
Okay, awesome. Okay, my next question is, how are you getting to these people? Like, how are you getting to getting in contact with them? Natalie?
I work 2 jobs, so it's really hard for me to contact people like just every day because I work 4 10-hour shifts, and then I also work at Twin Cities on call, so I have to fit it in when I can. I have asked people while I'm on break or lunches when I'm at work. Most people I try to see face to face. So if I see them in the grocery store, if I, have a coffee break or whenever I can, I usually will bring it up. But if I can't do that, then I either text or I call if I have their number. If I don't have their number, then I'll hit them up on private message on Facebook. And I didn't have a Facebook until I signed up for Plexus. So I didn't have all the contacts that I had before with my old Facebook. I just created a new one for Plexus only. And that was for me to be able to like research and educate myself on the product. So then I started getting all my friends back on there and then started contacting people on there that I haven't talked to, or they've contacted me. It's amazing what you can like accomplish when people see your post and then they try to contact you. And then you're like, oh, I never would have thought, but you should not discriminate or think that people are not going to like Plexus when I've had plenty of people ask me, and I wouldn't have thought ever they would want to do it.
Right. Awesome. Thank you. Christian.
Again, I do some one-on-one meetings, people I meet. But again, mostly through Messenger. I go through my Messenger every day, and I go on the actives, and I have, a few messages that I've, saved on my phone that I got off Tickle Pink. You posted a few there, some real great messages, and I send those. I try to send to 10 people each day, and the first month I did that, my PV went up to over 1,000. The second month, I got a bunch of ambassadors, and that's basically, like I said, 60% of my business is through Facebook. When I first started, I did have only about 200 friends. I kept it pretty close, and then once I did start in the business, and I went back to all my old friends in high school. I went to 2 different high schools, in 2 different cities, so it helped out. I'm up at like 1,500 friends, so that helps.
Wow. Awesome.
And so, yeah.
Thank
But
you.
yeah, Facebook's huge for me.
Okay. How about Todd?
Mine's a little different. Some people that you have on your friend list might be offended by a text about this type of opportunity. So I'll do a drive-by, and I'll make sure I go see them one time before I bring up Plexus. I get hit up by multi-level marketers weekly, and it always bothers me when I haven't seen someone for 5 years and suddenly it's, hey, coach, how are you? I've been thinking about you. And I'm like, no, you haven't. You want me to help you make money. So I try really hard not to be that guy. But I will use the Facebook, like Christian said, to do posts about my family, what Plexus has done for my family. I don't think I've ever sold Plexus, and so that's probably helped because I'm just sharing it with people, what it's done for me. And different people, some people don't want to text. They want to sit on a horse and talk, and some people want to have coffee. So I think it's whatever mean of communication that those people are most comfortable with, that's what you should use for those people. There's some grandpas that I'll sit and talk for an hour and a half when I have the time before I bring up Plexus, because they're going to be really offended. And then there's other doctors, so you got to shoot a quick text to them and say, hey, can I have 10 minutes next Thursday? And have a specific time that you can meet with them, because you have to respect people's time in this, or they won't respect yours.
Right. Awesome. Thank you. What about you, Edie?
I've mostly done private messaging because it is close people that I know mostly. So private messaging has worked that way. I've also done private like 7-day challenges and stuff like that. I've done private like group, like a party type thing or challenges, and that's worked. I've gotten people off of that. And having launch parties too.
Yes.
I've had probably since I started, I think I've had like 5 of them.
Yes.
And those have worked. I've gotten people off of that also.
I was going to say that, Edie, if you didn't say that, because we've done a lot of this.
I know. I thought of things after I hurried and wrote everything down.
Yes, that's awesome. Okay, perfect. That's great. Thank you. Now, this one's an important one. What do you say to them to see the value of becoming an ambassador? What do you say to them? And let's start with Nate.
I don't ever talk to them about being an ambassador. I talk about the product, and then when they ask me, like, how do they get it, I usually talk to them about wholesale. And then I tell them about, like, yes, it's called an ambassador, but that's just because you need to be able to have the website and all that stuff, but you don't have to sell the product. That's just an added bonus. Your health, you never put a price on your health. I always tell people to get the product at the cheapest, and then so they're signing up as an ambassador. If they sign up for wholesale and just happen to share with people, and that person wants to sign up too, then that's awesome, because now you're getting money off of your product. And then after you get past 3, you're going to be adding income into your home. So it's just an added bonus, and we should just, start with wholesale because I want it the cheapest that I can get it.
Awesome. Perfect. That's great. Okay, I wrote that down. Wholesale. Christian.
I tell them about my Plexus journey until, to the point that I start talking to them. I start building value through positive projection right away. Like I will say, when you order, it's better for you to pay your membership and buy it wholesale. They just listen and listen, and then I use a whole lot of different ones, I can go into, but my 2 main ones, I guess, and then I tell them this is really going to be great for you and your family, health-wise, and it could help you, pay for a car or something, and it's really helped my family, and it could do the same for you, and just a lot of positivity. And I'm not a believer in asking them at the end, hey, so do you want to sign up, or do you want to buy, or do you, if you don't ask them a few times during the conversation, and they're probably going to say no, or they say later. And I did that at the beginning, so now I just project what I want them to say back to me, and it since I started doing that, it just took off for me. It works for me. So
awesome. Thank you. I love that. Todd.
I think today most people understand the Costco mentality of membership, whether it's Expedia, whether it's cheap trips, whatever group travel people are on. I think people understand the idea and concept now. So I've never once thought about a retail customer or a preferred customer. I quite frankly didn't want to go back and do the same thing over again with someone. So to me, it has always been everyone who I talk to is going to become an ambassador.
Yep. Okay. Perfect. What about you, Edie?
I'm the same way. I don't really push the preferred or the retail. I mean, unless they're just wanting to do a trial thing, or when I do the 7-day challenge or something like that. But other than that, I mostly talk to them about, give them the 3 options that they have and explain how wholesale is like a Costco card membership. I use that a lot. And once they hear that, and I compare the prices for them and stuff of what it would cost them, because basically if they buy retail for, say, a triplex or whatever, and if they go wholesale and with the $34.95 in the beginning, they're probably paying more.
Mm-hmm.
So that usually works.
Awesome. Wow, you guys, that was awesome what you guys said about that. I love that. Okay, now this one's something's really that comes up a lot. How do you guys deal with people saying it's too expensive? Nate?
I make sure they know that the coffee here and there and buying chips or the little things add up. And this is going to help them save money in the end, because they aren't going to have those cravings anymore. They're going to have more energies. Even just buying a $1 soda, some people do that 3 to 4 times a day. And the chips in the Starbucks as well. They will be feeling better and having more energy throughout the day and sleep better at night. And you can't put a price on your overall health. So pretty much if they want to say that's too expensive, would you say that about your kids or your family, that it's too expensive for them to be healthy and get a better, outcome in the end?
Perfect. Love that. It's awesome. Okay, how about Christian?
When the taste said, that was awesome. Basically, when I'm done telling them about my, my story, then I tell them, look, the biggest thing it did for me really was my sugar craving addiction that I thought I did not have. I was spending, at least $5 a day on energy drinks, sodas, the candy here and there. I mean, that's actually a conservative number. So, I mean, you can just add that up, times it by 30, and they all say, "Wow, that's true." That's all I gotta say. Really.
Now, Christian, what about if they say, "I really don't have any money right now"? What do you say about that?
I kind of smirked and I said, "Well, when I started, I was on SSI, and I really didn't have the money, and I knew that my health to be here for my family and my family's health to be here for me was paramount, and that was my first concern. So my wife and I talked, and we moved some things around, and we made it happen. And I buy 4 triplex combos, 4 X Factors, 4 Mega X's every month now. So It can be done if you want. That's the bottom line.
Right. I love a couple of people we've had even like not pay a couple bills that month, or rearrange their budget, go down to one car. They've turned off their cable. They've sold clothes. They've sold shoes, and that's because we have poured in the value of Plexus and what it's going to do in their life. So that's really important. Okay, Edie, what about you? I mean, Todd. Sorry.
I think I address it with most people before the price comes up. And I think in creating value, if we have not done a very good job explaining the 3 products, I think most people start out with it's $109. And as we go through the products, I'll talk to them about price, like with the ProBio being $25. You might be able to get it at Walmart for $30, but you're not going to get the same quality. You might be able to get another multivitamin for $5 less, but it won't be the same quality. So I talk price almost all the way through it. And then when they see the price of the 3, 109, so it appears really when it's clumped together, it's a lot less expensive than just buying one bag of Slim. And so I think when people initially start, they're thinking, okay, I'll just start with Slim, and then they find out as a non-ambassador it's $89. Well, if I'm an ambassador, I get 3 products for $109. So I think it's a progression that I take people through, so there's not a shock at the end. When I cars, I know the cost before I go into it, and I think people understand most multivitamins are going to cost $25 to $35. So if we talked about it before they do, I think it really helps release the shock value.
I do too. And none of you guys were at convention last year, but we had Big Al Schroeder, and that's one thing that he really shared with us at convention is you want to get all the obstacles down before you end. You want to cover all these obstacles as you're talking to them, so they're not even in their mind when they get there to make the decision. So that's awesome, Todd. Okay, what about you, Edie?
I basically kind of go over my situation with me. I was buying Starbucks teas like at least 2 a day, and those were $2.95. And just before I ended up stopping because the craving of the sugar stopped, they went up to like $3.05. So I was doing those 2 times a day. And when I explained to them that once I quit that helped me a lot, because when I averaged it out for a year, it was like $2,220 that I was spending on that compared to a month of Slim. And if you break that down at 1 per day, what did we say it was, like $235 or something like that? It was really cheap. So I kind of go over my situation and just explain, and then ask them, what are you buying over the counter now is for vitamins that you take, a multivitamin or anything like that, and just compare it and explain how Chris was buying, the fish oil pill from Walmart and stuff like that, and compare that to it and what he's doing now. And that, once I say that, then they kind of get it.
Good. So what I'm seeing with a lot of you here is you're giving what you personally had to do. And it's making sense with them because they understand that it's not you're not doing a sales pitch. You're telling from your heart and the truth. And that's really, really important. So that's great. Okay, let's go on to our next question, which is, do you have some kind of system in place to keep track of all these ambassadors, that all these new people that you have and these people that you're working with, and the samples you've given out and things like that? Let's start with Nate.
Okay, so I bought a whiteboard the first day, and it's right here.
Yep.
So that's my goal, is to be senior gold. And so I write all down the names on the people that are signing up as ambassadors, and I need to help my team make sure they stay positive and motivated as well. So I want them to stay up with me. It's not me by myself. I just basically want to motivate them to do their power of 3 and, keep that going and hopefully get them to gold too. The people that have asked me about it, I try to get them samples and write them down what I gave them and what day, because I need to follow up with that. I don't want to follow up every day because that gets annoying. I basically follow up whenever they have. It depends on the person, how they feel. I try to follow up with them once a week and go from there, because if someone seems irritated, I try to back off and let them come to me, because at the end, coming back, most of them have been coming back and wanting to sign up anyways. So I found that if you're not pushy and you just like sit back and relax, they usually just come right to you. I write down everyone I have told about the product, because I don't want to keep saying the same stuff over and repeating myself. What I said before, I should not be repeating it. I don't want them to think that I forgot about them, that I've already talked to you about it. My bad. You don't want that at all.
Right. Awesome. Perfect. Okay, Christian.
On my laptop, I have, a computerized notebook called, I think it's called Notebook. Actually, I don't even know, but I have my DIPA there, my daily income producing activity, and I just added to that and made sure, put reminders and notes on there, and then I've got another screen where I have all my ambassadors on there and people, that I need to follow up with in a month or a week, a month or 6 months, days, whatever, and I use that. And
Sorry.
and then on my phone, again, on my messenger, I send so many on there when I'm not at home or I don't have my computer accessible. Like you guys said, nooks and crannies, I pull out my phone, I'm sitting there, and I need to send them a message. And if it's a new person, then I start conversations with them, and that's what I do.
Okay. Awesome. I've seen Christian's system. It's amazing. Like his computer, how he has it set up. I love hearing everybody's system because we're all different. We all do it different. Todd, what about you?
I had no system, and that was absolutely the worst system possible, because I was handing out product and I couldn't remember who I'd given it to. I gave multiple people multiple samples. I was a wreck. And so I finally, I can't do a whiteboard because my office is too accessible to too many people, and nothing's worse than having someone's name up on the board as a hot prospect, and they walk in and read it.
Yeah.
You want to kill someone right away.
An office.
Have them be a prospect. So I went and bought one of the calendars that you showed us on from Target. I think it was the gold.
Yes.
One, and I started writing down, and I don't have a long list, but I have about 30 names in January. And then I'd write when I text them or if I emailed them, just what my action was. And then when they get in, I highlight them and the date that they get in. But then I carry those names over to February and March. So I have a continually list of names that some move on, and then some, are not interested. So I take them off the list.
Mm-hmm.
But then if things get slow, I go back to February and I look and say, I should call this guy again. So if you don't have the system, you get over 60 people, whatever system you thought worked doesn't work anymore, because you just can't remember that much. So
Yeah.
you have to have them written down somewhere.
And these little calendars are like only $9. Mm-hmm. And this $9 calendar can make you $1 million business. So it really is an investment that is worth every penny. What about you, Edie?
Awesome. I, in the beginning, was the same way. I wasn't really keeping track, and then you forget about people and stuff. And then I was scrolling through my phone and like, oh shoot, I talked to them or I gave them a sample. And then obviously I got the book with the calendar like you had told us, and I keep track better that way. And then I just recently, about a month ago, got the whiteboard, and I do it with different colors, highlight too. And there has been a few people that were not interested, and I just, after a few times, you can tell, and you just leave them alone. And those two people have just recently recontacted me, are ready to try it. So basically highlighting and putting on the board and stuff.
Yep. So that's a good point right there. Even if they've decided it's not for them or they can't afford it right now, that doesn't mean to erase them off your board or erase them off your list, because they can come back. Perfect. Okay, we're almost done. What do you say to a stranger when you're out and about, everyday life with Plexus? Nate?
I usually just ask them if they are ready for their life to be changed and feel better. I tell them it's a natural drink that takes a second to make, and you drink it in the morning to start your day off. And that's how I start my day off, and then my day continuously starts. I mean, it's always one of the best days. They can read about it and I hand them my packet with a quick description of the ingredients and tell them they can call me anytime, and they can go to my website and see everything for themselves. And I can also add them on Facebook and then let them see some testimonies.
Perfect. Awesome. Okay, Christian?
First thing I do is listen. I listen and I try to figure out a way to spark a conversation. A lot of times if you just listen, they'll make a moaning sound like, oh, my shoulder hurts, or they'll talk to something, this is bugging me, and that's my way in, I guess. And I just start talking to them, and I let the conversation naturally unfold until I see that opportunity to really share. Once they're like opened up to me and they tell me what's going on, I try not to do flexes on them like I did at the beginning. I just tell them, like Nate said, it's an all-natural plant-based supplement that is changing lives. It's changed my life, saved my life, and again, I try to listen. That's the biggest thing.
Perfect.
Listen.
Good. Todd, what about you?
I think I really bought in when people talk about elevator speeches, and I think I probably have maybe 11 to 12 of them for different people. The grandma that is in line doesn't really need to know about the P96. I mean, she's not taking high protein, low carb right now, but the weightlifter does. So like Christian said, listen to what people are talking about. And it's amazing. I'm a much better listener because of Plexus. And even if they don't buy something, just being a friendly human being, if they never buy Plexus at all, you've made someone's day better.
Oh, yeah.
And they go home happier. And if everyone just went home happy once a day, I mean, and it was because of you or someone, that the world would be such a much better place. So I think Christian hit it. Just listen, but then don't be, the A, B, and C of Plexus. You might start with Z, because that might be one person just might meet the omegas. So have a lot of different speeches ready, but make them applicable, and don't get caught into just a welcome pack. Personalize it for each person as individually, and meet their needs, not our needs.
Very good. Love it. Awesome. Edie, what about you?
For me personally, I haven't had a lot of the stranger approach thing, but when I have, basically I have my pamphlets with me, and my card, and usually a slim sample, and just kind of go over the basics with them of what the slim can do for you, and the drink and the whole bit. And that's kind of been my approach on that.
Perfect. So what I'm kind of getting from everybody and myself also is we call our family and friends a warm market, and then we call people that we don't really know a cold market. And the key to be a cold market is just be friendly, like Todd and Chris, everybody was saying. Be friendly. I mean, you know what? If you're having a bad day, and then you in your mind go, and use that positive affirmation that I'm going to be friendly and I'm going to make somebody's day today, and you like open up even though you don't want to, and you just start talking about their shoes or, their hair, something where you want to make a connection with them. When you're friendly to somebody, like they said, it's just going to open up the door. And so many people, what I found is so many people miss out on so many blessings a day by not doing this. You're going to be blown away when you start doing this, how many blessings every single day you're going to have just by being nice to people. So that's awesome. Okay, now let's see what our next question is what has kept your belief up when you get a lot of no's? Because this is part of this. What is that for you, Nate?
Makes all the no's worth it when I get just one yes. That one yes is going to change that person's life and hopefully their family, because all those no's that you're getting, that one yes, they're going to share with their family, and they're going to be able to get all those no's pretty much voided because they're sharing with their family, and they're going to change their lives too. I won't let people bring me down, because I know they will come back, because a couple of people already have, and they totally were talking bad about Plexus and that I got sucked into a multi-marketing level thing. And it's funny how they're coming back, and I'm more than happy to help them change their life and show what it's done for me, and that it can do the same thing for them.
Yes. So that's very, very important right there. What Nate said is when they say no, don't be like sarcastic to them or don't like snub them off and kind of be rude or whatever, because they're going to, no means not right now. So remember that, like, just let them go, bless and release them and let them go, and just keep your passion and your love. And next time you see them, just check in on them. Don't even mention Plexus to them. They're going to see the difference in you, and boom, it's going to happen. Perfect. Okay. Christian, what about you?
I think I got lucky at the beginning of my journey. I saw a post like the second day on Facebook, and it had nothing to do with Plexus, but it said, "I'm not looking for 100 yeses. I'm looking for 900 no's." So to me, that meant keep sharing, because as soon as I get my 900 no's, I know I'll have my 100 yeses. So that's basically what when somebody says no to me, it doesn't even faze me. I just, okay, they'll come back, or like you said, no me doesn't mean no never, means no now.
Mm-hmm.
I just sharing. That's all I do. Oh.
Yeah. So with you, Christian, what I just heard you say was your emotions are to the point now where you're not having such big dips. When you first start, you get a no, you're really sad about it. And then you're really happy and sad. And it's like this all day. And now your emotions are more like even when you get a no, because of that concept in your head.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty much.
Okay. Awesome. Okay, Todd.
It sounds arrogant and cocky, but no one's ever said no to me. The only thing they've ever said no to was either multi-level marketing or I didn't explain the product good enough.
Thank you.
So I've never heard a no. I've never taken it as a no. It's I didn't do a good enough job explaining it, or someone else had approached them about multi-level marketing and it was a horrible experience. So probably like Christian, I'm not offended by it because I don't take it personal.
What about those people that you started on the journey and then they turn it off and they say it didn't work? How do you handle that?
It's the same thing, and we don't promise or make guarantees that it's going to work for every person. And I explain it to people, like some people can drink caffeine right before bed and it doesn't affect them. I just think if someone turns it off, I personally think they turned it off just too soon. They didn't allow it to have time in their bodies to get their BMI back to the right place. They just didn't give enough time. So in the town I live, it's a small town, but there's 95,000 people. So if 1 or 3 people say they're not interested, there's 7 more standing right beside me, or 8 over here, or 10 back there. If you get caught up in one person saying no, and I think that's a big mistake actually people make. They've got one person in mind that if this person does it, then it'll be successful.
Yeah.
And I would take 100 average people over one incredible person, because 100 average people are going to slowly plod along, and just no's aren't no. They just don't understand the product. So
exactly. Awesome. Perfect. Okay, we're down to Edie.
Well, to be honest, Nate was one of my first not ready right now, her and Carla. And then they ended up joining. So it's really great. And then they didn't sign it directly under me, but they're under me. And it worked out perfect because it's all family. And I knew, and then they came back too. So they ended up joining, and that helped out a lot. And just when you get a no, it's just like I said, I've had a few people that I could tell were interested, but just I think they think of the money and the whole issue, and they're like, oh, not right now, and they're not ready. So I just kind of, when I see them or I talk to them, I don't bring up Plexus or anything, like I think somebody else said. I don't bring it up at all. And then eventually they come back. But I think a lot of people have seen my posts on Facebook too, not so much about Plexus, but just my energy and things that I'm doing, like hiking and, going different places and stuff. And they're like, what are you doing? Where are you going? How are you doing all this? And you look like you're having a great time. You're having fun. You're living life. And we kind of get on the subject. Like I just went to Elks Lodge fundraiser the other night, and that happened to me. They were like, God, I see you all over Facebook. You're having fun. What are you doing? And Plexus came into it, and I probably got another ambassador to sign up.
Yep. So that's really important. What she just covered too is make sure you're kind of journaling or whatever your life, and let it be on show on Facebook what you're doing, how, because those people that have been friends of yours have seen you the way you were, and now they're going to be seeing you hiking and playing with your kids and having more time for this and that, and it almost becomes like they want that life. And so then that's another reason why they're going to reach out to you. Another thing that Todd said, a saying that I always think about is when they're telling me no or they've turned off or whatever, in your mind, think of that little saying that I've really taught most of our team, step aside so I can get to the other 10,000 that need it. Okay? Don't say it out loud. I've almost said it out loud many times. But say it in your head. It really works. And also that delete button that I've taught a lot of people too. Visualize a little black dot on your hand, and you're sitting there and these people are talking crud about our plexus, and we're very defensive and we want to go off on them. Just kind of sit there and just hit that delete button that they're saying, and don't let that stuff go into your brain. When you delete something, it's gone forever. So you don't let what they're saying affect you at all. And I see that with a lot of new people. They'll hear these things and then it plants these little bad seeds in their head. And then, if we deleted them right before that came out of those people's mouths, sometimes I'm deleting before I even get to the person because I know what they're going to say. But just remember those little tips. Okay. Yes. Delete. Okay. Now I'm going to ask, and we're going to close right now. What would be your number one tip to share with everybody on this Zoom, to help people understand how much fun this is, what an amazing, how awesome we are to be chosen to be ambassadors of this product, how life-changing it is, how excited you guys are. So let's start with Nate.
My number one tip, I think, would be don't let the negativity get to you, because if it gets to you, then you're going to go down that road too. I'm a very positive person and I don't let people get me down. And it makes me really excited about my days. I'm a very busy person. I'm tired by the time I get home, but just knowing that I'm changing people's lives, and I know that eventually one day I'm going to be able to just be at home and only doing Plexus, it really motivates me throughout the thing and what Plexus can bring to me. And my family is going to be amazing. And I already feel really great. And you guys will probably see it on Facebook, so I'm going to post it here pretty soon. But what I've accomplished in the last 2 years, it's been a lot, and Plexus is only adding to that. And I'm just very grateful for everything that I have been brought. And I wish I would have done it sooner when Edie asked me.
That's right.
It wasn't your time.
It wasn't my time, but it is now.
Yes, it is. That's right. All right. Good job. Okay, Christian.
I guess my number one tip is positivity. Positivity on your Facebook post. I see a lot of people that are posting about, politics, things like that, and a lot of drama. And, I actually have to step back and say, no, you know what? Keep it positive, Chris. Keep positive. Positivity, like when you're talking to somebody, keep, positive projection onto them, what you want them to do. Be positive. You want them to get healthy. You want them to make money. All just positivity all the way around. That's my that's what I tell myself every morning, is just be positive. It's very easy, especially for a guy, to be negative. It is very easy. So I just tell myself every day, be positive. It's changed my life, changed my family's life, and Plexus for life.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. Thank you, Christian. Okay, what about you, Todd?
Probably the one thing I hear a lot of people in multi-level marketing, and I'm only around Plexus, but I hear people talk about their team members aren't very motivated and how to motivate people. And if you think how hard it is to change yourself, you really understand how unlikely it is that you're going to have a chance to change someone else. So if you went and recruited an ambassador who is lazy by nature, or only has one job, or doesn't have a job, and you thought, well, this person's perfect because he has all the time in the world, you got this thing kind of backwards. The most, I think, successful people are the people who are the busiest and have a lot of contacts and are out moving around. When I first signed up a couple people that were jobless, I was like, hey, this is perfect. This is going to help them pay the rent. This is going to help them make the car payment, but they have so much time. Everything's going to be tomorrow. And busy people do stuff today because they don't have time tomorrow. They got plans tomorrow. But people that don't have any plans tomorrow, they're going to make that call tomorrow. They're going to go see that person tomorrow, and everything gets put off. Whereas the busy people are really good organizers, and they're really good at doing stuff while they're driving, while they're talking, while they're waiting. And so I would say find motivated people that don't have time to meet with you, and those are the people you want to meet with. That's what I'm going after. I'm going after people who don't have time for me.
That's awesome. Perfect. Edie.
Honestly, my whole thing with any of my ambassadors underneath me have been just telling them to stay positive, and the same thing as Christian, being positive. And I've had a few that have called me and said, oh my God, they're this bad day, so-and-so this. And I just, tell them, you just need to stay positive and keep them going. And if they see you get upset and you're getting down about things with Plexus, then it's going to pass on to them, and they're going to think, oh, this isn't great. So I just tell them to always stay positive so that they see that you're confident and that this is going to work and Plexus is going to all work out for everybody in the end. So basically being positive also.
Okay. I love it. Wow. This is amazing. I have had such it's been so blessing to help people the way we have tonight. I know this is going to bless a lot of you. I want to motivate you. We want to motivate you just like Todd said, but not in that way. We want to show you that these are 4 different people, 4 different lifestyles, 4 different backgrounds that have made this work in their life because of their vision that they saw and their belief that they're pouring into people. And it is doable, and I want everybody that hears this Zoom tonight to believe in themselves, because yourself, truthfully, is the thing that's holding you back. You can learn everything about these products, everything about the business, everything about just learn what we talked about tonight. But if you don't believe in yourself, you're not gonna do anything. So I hope this has really helped you. Christian, did you want to say one more thing?
Yeah, the whole thing again about positivity. When I came into the business, you guys had just gone through that back office change, and the shipping was not very good, and I signed somebody up right away, 3 people in a week and a half, and they were where's my stuff, blah blah, and if I can make it through that, believe me, anybody can make it through that. It's just gotta stay positive. That's just came to my head.
Thank you for saying that. Todd does the same way, and Edie. All you guys were right in the same time of that October, that changeover. And I'm so proud of each one of you, how you were bringing in this, especially like Todd too, and Christian, Santa Maria. You guys are bringing it to a new area that they've never heard of Plexus. So of course they're thinking, oh, what kind of business is this? So I'm just so proud of all of you guys, how you really have poured that belief into people and held them on through this time. And it's really truthfully about the products. Get the products into people and they will believe, and they will be lifers also. Okay, so we're going to close right now. We're going to go out. All these guys, I'm sure, have appointments tonight. They're going to be calling people. Todd's going to go do a meeting right now. So they work this a lot. And so I encourage all of you to take what you've learned from this tonight and just be positive and excited for this new future that you're going to be doing, and just go out and change lives and be friendly. Okay. Good night.
Thank you, Cindy.
Bye.
Bye.